Welcome to the bold analysis. I know we have looked at a matter here why government officials are responding to Rigathi Gachagua publicly, even though he is the second in command. But this time in this analysis, we'll give it a different perspective and probe further to ask ourselves some question. Who is that responding to Gachagua? And it will not take us a lot of time to understand. There have been two letters that have emerged, people that have come out publicly to protest against Rigathi Gachagua. Number one is the Kenya Airways that came out to respond to Rigathi Gachagua over his statement that there was state capture in the Kenya Airways, and powerful people within Uhuru, with the previous administration, had taken over operations, and because the operation cost was high, that's why the organization has not been making profit. The other one was the Central Bank of Kenya, Governor Patrick Njoroge, who also came out to respond to Gachagua, telling him that the central bank do not control exclusively the forex reserves, but the other commercial banks also do it, but at their own level, even though the CBK transacts on behalf of government transactions, for government transactions like the imports and so on and so forth. So they were waving off an allegation that there was state capture in the CBK, and that's why there was a problem with the foreign exchange. So these two have come out, and now that is what has sparked a reaction. So one thing I just want you to ask yourself, go and do your research. Who is the head of CBK? Who is the head of Kenya Airways? And those are two that I can remember. I know most of us will have the luxury of remembering more than that. Now, I think yesterday, a host of members of parliament from some areas in Nyeri came out to defend Rigathi Gachagua over the fact that government officials are responding to him. And let me tell you, these people that are responding to Gachagua are not just mere politicians. They are not members of parliament. They are actually the billionaires of Mount Kenya. And so, if you remember my analysis that I did about the leadership structures in the mountain, there have been the Mudhamaki, where the President Uhuru Kenyatta belonged to. I don't know that Rigathi Gachagua belongs to that group. There have been the Gitonga, who are the business community. That's the Mount Kenya Foundation that supported Raila Odinga. And then there have been the church council. So William Ruto used the church council in the last election. So this other team that is speaking is the Gitongas. So the question that I've said is this. Now, what do you think these MPs are actually responding to this issue? There is something that I have, doing my research, I've come to realize that those Gitongas are regrouping. They are regrouping. And that perhaps is what is in the back room, that not even these members of parliament or Rigathi Gachagua himself is trying to put a blind eye on. At the campaign trail, the current President William Ruto was very categorical and was very mad by the Mount Kenya Foundation. That was the Gitongas. And the reason why he actually attacked them and was really strong on them is because he knew very well that they are stakeholders. So, these billionaires that are regrouping, to what extent is it going to influence Mount Kenya politics? And how, because now it comes, the person of interest is Rigathi Gachagua. Is that safe? Is Rigathi Gachagua safe with them? My answer is no. But I want you to hold there, because we are going to look at this in details. Before that, I want to remind you to subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell, and also like our video. in a special way, I want to remind us about the challenge. I think, yes, someone said 50 shillings here. Let's do 50 shillings challenge for the purchase of my camera, an extra camera that will help us do exclusive interviews while just support my production. The camera is Canon 250D with a market price that is around 80,000 or so. And so that's what we want to buy to supplement what we already have, as now I have one camera. So, but now one is not enough, the exclusive interviews. Kindly feel free to contribute. The number is there, 0710 62 78 89, Kevin Oduor. And this place is amazing. Now, what is this happening? And why am I saying that Rigathi Gachagua is not safe with them? These Gitongas, they are the business community, but to some extent, they also have a voice as far as politics is concerned. That is why they participated in the last general election. I always opined one thing, and I insisted that if there was a Mount Kenya Foundation that was supporting Raila, there was another faction that might have even supported Gachaguas or William Ruto. So, not that they casted their eggs in one basket. Let me tell you, what is most likely going to rupture? This is going to rupture by creating a center of protest. There is a center of protest because this is what's playing out. The CEOs are also billionaires, and these MPs are speaking about, they are also people in Mount Kenya. Not everyone was happy with President Uhuru Kenyatta. And there are people who wanted to get these positions, these powerful positions in government. And they may have a perception that perhaps President Uhuru Kenyatta did not have their interest. Of course, the equation cannot be equal. Not everyone can get the cake. So the people that might have missed out on President Uhuru Kenyatta might still be comfortable in pushing Rigathi Gachagua to push some of these people to the periphery so that they can take up those positions. So that is something that is happening. When you listen to Gachagua, the deputy president will tell you that when they speak to government officials, some of them say they have been harassed. Some of them say this and that. Some of them say this and that. So that tells you the kind of environment that Gachagua is working in. So that center of protest is very dangerous because what are we talking about? We're talking about a team that are protesting against him. And that's very dangerous because you don't know when they decide to take a political seat or when they decide to fund, they decide to build a rebellion and start a movement, it can totally be a different thing altogether. So that is one thing that this would come out to. But I also see that Gachagua should be very wary of frictions from the mountain, because he will not want to be seen as someone who is punishing a GEMA person, a GEMA leader. Remember, and I think, I don't want to say I like it, but I want to say is his style. To some extent it worked, it works, if so. He was pro-Mount Kenya. He was a Mount Kenya activist. And because he was a Mount Kenya activist, these people want to hear about him. And the more he will start fights within the mountain, he will lose his identity, he will lose his brand, he will actually lose his brand as a Mount Kenya activist. That brand is going to be deflated. And that's very dangerous, because if it's deflated, then his chances of even remaining politically relevant at the end of William Ruto's reign are minimal. Even though I'm one person that insists that when it comes to an election, every election is a transition. So, but this could also be very interesting. You know, the head of state is President William Ruto. And President William Ruto is so grounded in Mount Kenya. Let me tell you, when we talk about these Gitongas and these business people, they are so grounded to William Ruto than even Rigathi Gachagua. So there are some lanes, I can tell you, that Patrick Njoroge, or even the KK, or these other people, they are so close to William Ruto. They listen to the president because they know that the last signature is that of President William Ruto. what am I talking about? What I'm saying is, if Gachagua is not careful, then himself, he will engineer a fallout with William Ruto. Many people have seen it as that fallout can be engineered by William Ruto himself. But to my observation, this thing can play out so bad, and it can even create a rift between William Ruto and Rigathi Gachagua, because it's now emerging conflict of interest. But what really brings this is an all-powerful deputy president. In fact, we don't have a deputy president. We have co-presidency, because we have a deputy president that's all-powerful. That difference yake na president maybe is just a name, or just the location of the office. But we have all this. I don't know. I also speculate this can activate Uhuru Kenyatta's influence in Mount Kenya. Some of these people who are appointed in those positions by Uhuru Kenyatta, I don't know what you think, but to my observation, Rigathi Gachagua needs to tread careful, and especially to make sure that he avoids by all means any friction within the Mount Kenya, because people will start taking sides. There are those who will side with him, there are those who will bypass him and go to William Ruto, and there are those who might feel that we are not part of it, and that rupture is going to finish him, because it is Rigathi, because Rigathi is the closest to take reins of power in GEMA. If you allow me to give him that benefit of doubt, that's my bold